Nikola Motors, hype and deception. How does a promising startup become one of the biggest frauds in automotive history? Remember when Nikola Motors was being called the next Tesla?
Is Nikola the next Tesla? Is Nikola the gamble that I need to make today that I either didn't make before or want to make again?
After all, they were promising to change the world with hydrogen-powered trucks, and for a while it seemed like they might actually pull it off. But instead of leading the future of clean energy vehicles, that dream rolled down a hill, literally. So how did it all go so wrong so fast? Here's the real story behind Nikola Motors. The Rise of Nikola Motors. Let's rewind to 2014. Trevor Milton founded Nikola Motors, aiming to disrupt the market with zero-emission semi-trucks powered by hydrogen fuel cells. It was a bold vision that quickly caught everyone's attention. Investors and the media were hyped. Everyone thought Nikola could be the Tesla of trucking. But while Milton was great at selling a vision, there was little substance behind it. But of course, nobody knew that yet. By 2016, Nikola unveiled its flagship truck, the Nikola One, which Milton claimed was fully functional. With flashy announcement and supposed partnerships with companies like PowerCell AB, Nikola appeared credible on paper. They even landed a deal with Anheuser-Busch for 800 trucks. GM partnership. In early September 2020, Nikola announced a huge partnership with GM, worth about $2 billion.
Your announcement to tell you about this morning in the auto industry. Nikola is partnering with General Motors to produce their new electric Badger truck.
The deal involved GM providing engineering and manufacturing expertise to help build Nikola's hydrogen-powered trucks, including a pickup truck called the Badger. In return, GM would receive an 11% stake in Nikola and gain access to Nikola's hydrogen fuel cell technology. The deal was seen as a win-win, with GM getting a foothold in the growing EV market and Nikola gaining credibility thanks to GM's established reputation. At the time, people saw GM's involvement as a stamp of approval. Nikola's stock surged by 40% overnight, and everything seemed like it was falling into place. GM was supposed to bring its Ultium battery tech and Hydrotech fuel cells to the table.
Throughout our agreement with GM, we're going to see somewhere between a $4 and $5 billion savings just in battery costs alone,
giving Nikola the resources to scale up the production of its trucks. But things quickly unraveled after a bombshell report dropped just 2 days later. Though it didn't seem like it at first, this was probably the most symbolic moment in Nikola's story. On September 10, 2020, Hindenburg Research accused Nikola of being an intricate fraud built on dozens of lies. The report revealed years of misleading claims by both Nikola and its founder, Trevor Milton. One of the most shocking revelations? That Nikola One truck everyone was excited about, the one that was shown driving in promotional videos, turns out it wasn't powered by hydrogen or any breakthrough tech at all. Hindenburg revealed that the truck had been towed to the top of a 2-mile stretch of road with a 3% grade, then allowed to coast downhill while cameras rolled. Nikola had edited the footage to make it look like the truck was driving under its own power. Can you imagine the audacity of that? It wasn't just a little exaggeration or a minor embellishment. They literally pushed a truck down a hill and called it innovation. The company's stock price dropped by 20% immediately after the report was published. And here's where it gets even worse. This wasn't just one isolated lie, it was part of a larger pattern of deception. Hindenburg also revealed that Trevor Milton had been making false claims about the company's hydrogen production capabilities. For example, Milton had claimed that Nikola was producing 1,000 kilograms of hydrogen a day, when in reality, they weren't producing any at all. Even Nikola's supposed in-house technology, like its inverters, turned out to be off-the-shelf components purchased from other companies. All of this added up to one conclusion: Nikola's grand promises were built on nothing but hype and deception. The stock, once valued at over $300 billion, quickly began to tumble as the truth came out. Faced with the lies, GM had to rethink the deal. They didn't walk away right after the report, but discussions stalled. After a lot of hesitation though, eventually GM backed out of their equity stake and decided not to produce the Badger at all. By late 2020, GM had renegotiated the terms to limit their involvement, focusing only on supplying hydrogen fuel cell technology for Nikola's semi-trucks and not taking any equity in the company. The fall of Trevor Milton. Now let's talk about the man behind all this chaos.
Founder of Nikola Motors, facing years in prison following his conviction on fraud charges. He promised to revolutionize the auto industry, but was found guilty of misleading investors.
Trevor Milton. After the Hindenburg report, he faced immense pressure and investigations from the SEC, that's Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Department of Justice. This led to him stepping down as CEO in September 2020. But that wasn't the end of the story for him. In July 2021, Milton was formally charged with securities and wire fraud, accused of making false statements about Nikola's technology and misleading investors. In October 2022, he was found guilty on 3 counts, and in December 2023, he was sentenced to 4 years in federal prison. In addition to the prison sentence, Milton was fined $1 million in order to pay $167.7 million in restitution to Nikola, which includes covering most of the company's legal fees and SEC penalties related to the fraud. Milton remains free on a $100 million bail while he appeals the conviction, but this marks a major legal and personal downfall for the once celebrated entrepreneur. What now for Nikola Motors? As for Nikola, even after all the hype, the media circus and scandal, it exists. Yep, you heard that right, Nikola Motors is still around, although its path has shifted significantly since Trevor Milton's departure. In the past few years, they've managed to mainly build and deliver some battery electric trucks instead, known as the Nikola Tree BEV. And why is that? You see, hydrogen fuel cell technology, Nikola's main selling point once, is incredibly expensive and challenging to develop. Unlike battery electric vehicles, which are already becoming more common, hydrogen tech is still in its infancy and requires significant infrastructure investment. Nikola didn't have the capacity or resources to build that kind of technology from scratch. Surprisingly, by mid-2023, Nikola decided to refocus on hydrogen-powered vehicles and established its Hyla brand to support hydrogen fuel production and distribution. In the second quarter of 2024, Nikola managed to more than double its revenue, reaching $31.3 million, up from $15.4 million a year ago. They also increased production, delivering 73 trucks, mostly hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles, that's FCEVs, compared to 45 in the same period the previous year. Despite this uptick in deliveries, Nikola's financial situation remains challenging. The company is still operating at a loss, reporting a gross loss of $54.7 million for the second quarter of 2024. Moreover, the adjusted EBITDA loss, while improving slightly, was still substantial at $109.4 million. So, for now, it's hard to see a future where Nikola bounces back in any significant way. So, while Nikola is still hanging on, its rise and fall serve as a cautionary tale in the world of startups. Big promises and hype aren't enough to guarantee success. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more stories of companies that didn't quite live up to their promises, or those that did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.